Hello there, welcome to Waynecast, whatever the hell the number is. Was it 12? Something like that. If you watch it on YouTube, just look up there, it'll tell you Waynecast number, whatever. Just log the time there, right? 58. It's 1:58 in the afternoon. I'm busy doing some work and I feel terrible. I came down with a virus last night, late on. So I've been awake most of the night. With some really severe stomach cramps. I feel, to be honest, like somebody's giving me a good kicking. Does that mean I'm not working? Does it? Bollocks. Nothing as simple as a little tiny bit of pain is going to stop this weenie working. Besides, I don't really have a choice. See, this is one of the things about a lot of guys like the idea of freelance, but they don't realise when you're working for a firm, right, you can take a day off when you're ill, and you still get paid. Right, as long as you don't take the piss and stop only taking days off when you've got a hangover. If you're working for yourself, don't work, don't get paid. Don't get paid, don't live. Simple as that. And bills don't get paid and stuff. People get angry when you don't pay bills. So you've got to work anyway. You know, you've got to work through it. Or ideally, do what I try to do, which is try and keep a little bit ahead. Now, I do have a lot of work on at the moment. And with this pending documentary thingy, I want to try and get some of the projects I'm on at the moment. Although I could do them all at the same time, I'd rather not. I'd rather, do majority of the things I have, or all of it, out of the way before this starts, because it'll make life easier. Because at the end of the day, I've got a family. I'm not a single man, so I've got to, got to work around the family. So I've got a 2.5-year-old kid. Well, he's what? He's more than that now, isn't he? Right. June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Oh, there you go. He's 2 years, 7 months. There's Kane. So I try to get a lot of my work done when he's asleep or out, because my parents take him out for the day, but 3 times a week. And then on a Saturday, I come over here and I can get some work done as well on the laptop. The laptop doesn't do a lot of high poly stuff, but it means I can get some of the other stuff done. So when I'm writing articles and writing stuff, normally I'll do that over here, because I work better in silence. I've done a lot of work this week that you won't see. I've had in fact, one of the highest outputs for a while. Did a body sculpt the other day that, full body one that you won't find out about for a while yet. Part of a project for something else, so I can't say, unfortunately. But yes, I've got a high output at the moment. I'm trying to use it to get all the stuff I'm getting paid for out of the way. Because there's nothing worse than when you hit one of those creative troughs like that. It's great because when I do this, I can see a little picture of myself and there's like a delay on it. When you hit a creative trough like that, it can be hell trying to come up with something interesting for something that you hold it and do and you'd agree to do. So that's why when I agree to do anything, I always try and get the concepts down. It's like the Eddie one. It's the first time I ever posted my sort of concept images. What do I want to do with that? I just took a load of sort of bits of, like a leather jacket for one and a pair of jeans, and just manipulated them in Photoshop and sort of moved the legs apart, and the arms were like that on a leather jacket that was just lying on the table. I just took them out and fleshed it out a bit. Some basic matte painting techniques, I'm not the world's best sort of matte painter by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good enough for what I need it to do, when it's quicker than painting a leather jacket and scratching it, really. Anyway, on to different things. So this time somewhere outside of 3D for a while. Somebody asked me a question. I'm a member of a forum that's for the TV series is sort of Life on Mars and the new spin-off Ashes to Ashes. For those who don't know, it's a bit like a time travel thing. Well, the first one was basically a couple, has an accident, wakes up in 1973, was it 73? 1973 or something, 74. And he's at a police station back then. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Otherwise you won't know what the hell I'm talking about. And someone else said, okay, if you had a position like this where for whatever reason you had an accident and you were thrown back in time, which period would you rather go back to? And actually, I was stuck, because I've got 2 of them. Now, assuming I get rid of the obvious ones, like, the day my son was born, and I get rid of all that for the obvious stuff. If I just think selfishly about me, right, there's 2 periods in my life. One would be 1975, when we used to live in Leeds, because although I was born in the northeast of England, I was about 18 months, moved down to Leeds and then back up again when I was about 5 or 6. And that would be the year before my brother was born. And we had a great standard of life back then, you know. At least I did as a child. You don't see all the other stuff, do you? Just when you're sort of just a few years old, you know, 4-year-old, you just see things through these rose-tinted spectacles. But it was great, because Leeds really was a multicultural city, even back in the 70s. And you'd walk down to, you know, we lived at the top of this massive hill. You know, some things never changed, do they? Live at the top of a massive hill now. I used to, you know, you'd walk down this hill to the shops with my mother, because I had my mother was shopping as a kid. And you'd see, you know, you see maybe 10 different races, people that had just, you know, immigrants that just came into the country. You have the same problems you have now with people saying, yeah, send them all back home, great, we'll go back home. But the thing is, if you look back at when these different races, such as when the blacks started coming over in the 50s, yeah, they had the same thing. They had a really shitty end of the stick now, didn't they? But look at it now. All these races have integrated from back then, have integrated very well into British society. So you're basically having the same thing again. People will always try and stick with the way things were done at home. I hate doing that things, but you know what I mean. It's human nature. People like what they know. So yeah. The other one would be about 1988. Now, that was when I was about 17, 18. Because that was probably the best time of my life as sort of a more adult person. I'd left school and I went on, you know, because I'd really had a shitty time. Because when I was doing it, working as a skateboarder from the age of sort of 12, 13. I was making good money, more than anybody else was at the teachers at the school, which pissed them off in the end, and I got a load of shite for it, to be honest. So when I left school, I went a bit mad for about 5 years, and it was like a 5-year-long party. And there was a group of us, and we all used to go out, and there was a party, at least two parties every week, and we used to raise hell. Now, not hell by today's standards, we're going out and mugging old ladies and shooting people, no. It was a case of we'd get something to drink, put some very loud music on, find somebody whose parents were away for the weekend, and just basically raise some heavy metal hell, because I'm an old metalhead. Some of you know that, some of you don't. So back then, to me, I think we had the best of music since the 60s. It was also the most hedonistic time since the 60s, you know, the late 80s. Because although AIDS was becoming a big thing, there were only 2 cases of it in the northeast of England at the time. So everybody basically knew they were safe, right? So, you know, there's still people doing a lot of the old in-out, like. And everybody had a great time. There was an old saying at the time that it wasn't a good party unless I was, you know, crawling across the floor by 10:30 at night, and the police weren't called by 11:30, which used to happen fairly regularly, you know. So I've raised my own going to hell. It'd be nice to go back now. If I go back into that body with what I've got in here, and what I know about the people from then, the ones I could trust, the ones I couldn't trust that stabbed us in the back, the ones that I didn't think I could trust that turned out that were, you know, better mates than I ever realised, the things that went wrong that I could have stopped, it would be nice to go back and sort of put it all right. Plus you'd have a really great soundtrack at the time. You know, let's face it, you know, there was all sorts of 80s metal. You know, I'm a sucker for that stuff. Still am, if I'm honest, you know. But yeah, it's what I would like, you know, if it was a case of life on Mars type scenario, that I walked out of this house, you know, got a lift back home off my dad, walked out the car, and got knocked down by a truck, and I'm in a coma, and get transported back in time. Yes, it's not going to happen, but hey, you know, I would like to go back. Probably my first choice would be 1988. You know, the year I saw Alice Cooper at Whitley Bass Rink live. You know, the time when we used to have parties every weekend. Time when I didn't have a care in the world, when I had more money than God, it seemed like, because I was earning a lot of money at the time, and the steelworks that was in this town in concert had closed at the time, so everybody had spent the redundancy money. We were all skint, and there was something daft like 60% unemployment. So people who were working was all right, but if you were working doing something odd like I was as a kid, and you were earning more than the adults earn in like, you know, in a month, in 20 minutes, it didn't go down too well. Now, in case you wondering where all that money went, I had a severe health problem when I was older. What would it be, about 20, something like that, and it all went on medical bills because it was at the time there was, probably still is, it was a 2-year waiting list for this spinal problem I needed sorting. So I basically thought, well, bollocks to it, I'll pay for it out of my own pocket, and I did, and it cost me more money than I thought. Got me skint, but it does mean I can actually walk around and stuff now. You know, I'm a normal person. Those abnormals, you know, normal abnormals, all about the same, really, isn't it? But yes, so there you go. I'll do a part 2 because I've got to get back down to some work in a minute. Plus, you know, I can't keep doing too many parts of these. I'll get another part of this, and I'll wind it up. See you in a minute.